I'm so excited.
We're live talking about branding and marketing and all the things, right?
All these juicy updates that, we happen to go past, but never seem to get on top of.
Yeah, and we're gonna pull them straight from the headlines. Like what the ink isn't even dry yet. Like what just happened? Like good, bad, ugly, whatever. Like let's just give our thoughts on it because it's not just about the company or vertical or whatever we're gonna talk about. It's like what does that mean to
Hmm.
other companies and even B2Bs and like we can all learn from stuff as it comes out in the news.
I mean, for real. That's the thing that most of the time it's missed. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
this company has done XYZ, and yet often a lot of business owners are going, but how is this relevant to me?
Right. And we can wait for the economists to weigh in and they do great, journalistic work and digest it. We can wait for social media to tell us what we think about it. But well, let's get ahead of all that stuff. Like, we know some stuff. We can say what we
Exactly.
think before everyone else.
Exactly.
Maybe we'll break some news on this thing.
Hell yeah,
We'll
I'm
make
down.
headlines ourselves. Yeah.
So what have we got today? What's our very first one?
Yeah, let's go straight to the hard stuff. Let's talk about some alcohol, yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, that's what I'm here for. Wait, let me pull out my stuff.
Yeah, we'll skip over the 5% ABV. Let's just go, top shelf or the good stuff. So we're gonna talk about well, a couple things. Let's talk about wild turkey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they've been making headlines because they're taking a bold. I mean, the bourbon category has been, we'll call it drying off a little bit. You got your millennials have been keeping it alive, along with older generations. Obviously, they have an aging customer base, but as Gen Z alphas are not quite drinking age yet, I don't think. I don't know where the cutoff is, but um, they're looking at other habits, and the bourbon category is kind of suffering because of it. Wild
Mhm.
Turkey's saying, you know what, we're an original. We're gonna keep doing what we're doing. They have a tagline. Sorry for the profanity for people that are really sensitive, but this is their tagline. It's when you know it's right, don't change a damn thing. And they're saying, look, we are who we are. uh, Let everyone else kind of flounder around in this category. We're doing what we do, um, and no apologies. What do you think about that, Beatrice?
You know what? I think they actually had a listen to my live not long ago where I was telling Jim Bean how they buggered up.
Mm,
They repositioned themselves. Same issue, right? Like they're like, hey, let's reposition ourselves as budget friendly. Like what?
hmm.
Why are we trying to compete in prices again? And so what I was saying was like, hey, Jim Bean actually started, and they're known for passing through the prohibition. And now we're passing through all of these challenging periods. It was like COVID
Yeah,
and like recession, et cetera, et cetera. Like there's so many challenging periods. What a better way to connect with people than being like, hey, it's a challenging period.
yeah, totally.
So
Yeah,
I think they took a page out of that notebook and went with this nostalgia, which connects so much better than going to price or to service.
sure. Yeah, I think some of they had the benefit, and a lot of companies had the benefit of what we'll call the COVID effect, right? So
Mm.
people got into artisanal drinks at home, and they bought a lot of bourbon, and they bought a lot of things. It was kind of like that prohibition era mentality. Like, well, if we can't go do, like, let's do this quietly in our own basements or our own backyards, and bourbon went whoop, and people got into really specialty niche cocktails at home, and then when the world opened back up, they said, okay, maybe we'll try some other things. And the category was like, it was a one time, maybe, hopefully, opportunity that boosted the category, brought in curious onlookers and outsiders, and then they kind of went other ways. So like they have to do something to say, wait, come back. Those true diehards, those that believed in us for a long time, we're an old company. Um, we're not changing anything, you know. So it's you know, they want the base back. Of course, they want to grow and they want the curious onlookers to come back too. But you got to like reclaim the tried and true, and I think that's what this move is all about.
Hell, I mean, there's two ways that I see other businesses can take this idea. One is, okay, say for example, you have some history with the company. What are the challenging periods that you've made it through? And talk about those.
Yeah.
It could be 10 years ago, 20 years ago, but you passed through some friction. That builds a certain kind of connection. And the other element is, okay, so there's the nostalgia, and it's like, hey, what are the current frictions? What are the difficulties? Talk
Hmm.
about those first. Bring that to the forefront, because I mean, I'm sure competition aren't necessarily going to be saying, oh, this is a challenging thing. They're going to be trying to go in the positive route,
Yeah.
but sometimes that struggle, that hardship, and especially now where it almost feels like, it's just one thing after another, lean into that. Build
Totally.
that connection.
For sure. And I've worked with some heritage companies. I'm sure you have too.
Mhm.
A lot of times there's like there's that pride, you know, like we originated this category or we were the first to do this. Even like companies that haven't been around as long as Wild Turkey or Jim Beam or any of these, you know, they've been around 10 years, but then all these new category competitors come in. There's like there's that pride of like, no, well, this is ours. So, and that can get in the way too. That can be a stumbling block to keep saying like, you know, you can be the original something, but then your competitor comes up and they're the original something plus, right? And it creates market confusion. So, if it's your company, like, what can you take from this? Like, if you are the originator of something,
Mhm.
just make it really clear what you originated and why it's still valuable to your audience. Um, because if it's just an equalizer, like we're the first to use AI in our product, well, who cares? Everyone's using AI now, you know. But does it really mean something to the consumer or to your target
Mhm.
customer or to the you know, your B2B clients that you originated something? And if it does, like find your way to tell it, right? Um, if it's
And
just
make
the
it,
same as everyone else, now everyone's doing it, you kind of lose yourself in that anger.
oh
Yeah.
my God,
Yeah.
exactly. And make it uncopyable. A lot of people, they come back and they're like, oh, hey, if we put this direction out now, our competitors will jump on that. You want to pick something that your competition, they might cringe
Hmm. Yeah.
at that position, right? It's like, oh, this is not us. And that is exactly when you have that unique position. So it's
Yeah.
like trying and testing.
True. Yeah. Yeah. And B2B companies can learn from, you know, learn from Wild Turkey, learn from UPS saying we're brown. No one else wants brown. We're going to be brown forever. You know, they found something to differentiate and they're just holding on to that and they're not going to change it and be, you know, bright purple just because that's in the news or that becomes a brand trend. You know, they're going to stick with brown, right?
Lean into the shit color, okay?
Yeah, hey, it's working for them.
Like, that's the thing. If it's strong enough, okay, first you want to be like trademarking it. Same as like how like Cadbury has trademarked like the color purple.
Mm,
If it's that strong, then you go ahead and trademark it. But of course, test the waters. See if there is people picking up on that. Like, same thing for my brand, like the baseball bat, the shades.
mm.
These are things that people mention without you having to go forward and like poke them.
Yeah.
So it's very much like, hey, have you got those alerts in place for mentions? To go and see, and how are you being mentioned? How is the business being mentioned?
Yeah.
Then you can lean into that.
That's totally, Beatrice. That's when you know it's working, is when your client base or your customer base starts playing it back to you in the same
Mm,
language that you put out. So if you start seeing on social with the wild turkey, I like wild turkey because they didn't change a damn thing. Here's what I'm doing in my life. I'm not changing it. I'm going to sit in my chair, and like you see people playing back the attitude of the mentality. It's you're connecting, you're getting through to people. So, and
and
that
they're
could,
not
yeah.
stripping things back.
No,
Then you look at like Cracker Barrel, Jaguar, all these things. They're like stripping things back,
right.
where they're just like, this is what we are. This is our
Right.
history, and we're not about to like change a damn thing.
No, and this one might get politicized and taken the wrong way and co-opted by the wrong meaningful that people might read into it for whatever. We don't know. We're at this really early in this conversation. That's not the point of talking about this. I hope it doesn't. I hope it's taken at face value. Um, but again, if you're like a B2B company, you don't have to be at 100 years old. You could be 5 years old. But to your point, Beatrice, like, what have you gone through? What is your heritage? What do you connect? What can you connect with your client base on? Because if there's something true that you've started and you've originated, not with the anger of like, I can't believe people are stealing our category, but with the no, we're proud. We broke ground on this thing. We are the first to do it. Let's all celebrate that together. If you're a true original like we are, you belong with us. That's a powerful proposition to put out there, and that's a really good way of knowing yourself as a company and owning that piece of it. What
I
do you
mean,
think?
there's a great, like, okay, yes, there are other CPG brands, but there's other great brands that show this as an example. You look at Midday Squares, where the owners are going in, they're talking about, they're showing the challenges of them going into the supermarkets.
Mm,
Show the behind the scenes. You don't necessarily need to be showing the work that your customer. If
yeah,
they're not okay with that, that's fine. But show it from your side.
yeah,
You talking, explaining, bleep out anything that's related to the customer.
yeah. Yeah, and evolve too. Like here's our technological improvements we put in as technology. We embrace breaking technology. We hire new hires and we bring in from the new workforce, and we make our company more. We bring in new voices and new opinions. And here's what we're never going to change. Right, as much as we evolve with the times, we're never going to change this core principle about our company. And if you can stick to that, believe it yourselves, among the group,
Yes.
the insiders, and put it out the way that you feel it, like people will feel that too. You can't turn away from that, from a company that knows itself that well.
Employees, your marketing, your sales, everybody with that same message, you're gold. You're
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
I think we got the point from they had a great idea with this, and this is very applicable to other industries, to
Yeah.
B2B, to service based.
Yeah. I totally agree. Well, it's morning on my end. I'm not going to be partaking this early in the day, but
6:30 here. Let's go.
yeah, hey, but get inspiration to get our day going and or closing out, and get takeaways for all kinds of companies that are watching this right now.
Hell yeah, let's go.
So let's do this
Onwards.
again. Yeah. All right. Take care, everyone. This has been our
Thanks for listening.
first crack on Are You Seeing This Too? And we'll do it again.
Oh,
See.
and let us know in the comments if you would like us to do another one and what brands that you would like
Oh,
for the
yeah.
next